Welcome everyone to this very important video where we are going to check out if the new DeepSeek AI revolution that is happening in China that just dropped last week and that presented to the world a new model that is extremely powerful. If this DeepSeek revolution is going to destroy Tesla stock and maybe even Tesla. So first of all, let's jump into what's happening to the stocks in reaction to that DeepSeek revolution. And what we are seeing over the weekend, there was a lot of nervous markets. And let's start with Nvidia, the main victim here. Nvidia is down 17%, which is nearly $500 billion. So Nvidia is down half a Tesla, half the entire value of Tesla today, which is nuts. People are very scared that DeepSeek is going to destroy Nvidia because the needs for these high-end compute and GPU chips for AI they think is now not necessary anymore because DeepSeek is so much more efficient in generating intelligence. I am calling BS on it in a different video you can check out if DeepSeek is going to destroy Nvidia, but that's not the topic today. The topic is Tesla. And when you look at Tesla, this is what happened on Monday. So you're seeing that Tesla is down 3.4%, which is kind of a lot after a bad week previously. And that was clearly because of the DeepSeek drag. And you saw it was actually a 380 pre-market and then, went back to neutral 405 and then went down all the way to below 390 again and is now on the way up again, probably end of the day. So what is happening and why is this so important? You see also the bigger context here before we jump into the AI story of the NASDAQ being down 3.3%, which is crazy. So that tells you that this Tesla 3.17 is actually very little. Normally Tesla trades at a beta of 2. So if the NASDAQ is down 3.39, Tesla should be down 7%, but has basically alpha over its normal beta move. So Tesla is holding up pretty well, which already tells you a little bit where this is going. But let's look at DeepSeek and why it's so disruptive. I want to show you guys, before we jump into the analysis, what DeepSeek actually is and does. If you're not familiar with AI models, AI is basically driven by these central models like OpenAI and ChatGPT that you know through ChatGPT. OpenAI O1 is one of their strongest models. You also have Claude, for example. This is a different model. Here's the old GPT-4o model. And here is DeepSeek, and here's DeepSeek R1. So DeepSeek R1 is a time compute model where DeepSeek actually thinks about your question before it answers it and actually lets you anticipate in the thought process. That's a new innovation in AI, that all these advanced models are now thinking about the answers before they answer and don't give you the initial answer. So they have an inner dialogue about your question, going back and forth, considering different options. And DeepSeek actually shares their thought process with you, which is very interesting. It's very human what they think about. And as you can see, there are all these benchmarks, and these benchmarks basically tell you how good a model is, right? So these are objective tests that you give these AI models, and there are different, categories here. So here, for example, you have English like a language. So it's about how good can this thing write? How does it respond? How thoughtful are the answers? Then you have code. How well can they code and write literally computer code? If you tell them, oh, create a game for me, here's the game, code the entire game. I want a website, code the entire website. I want an AI model, code the AI model. I'm making it simple here, but that's basically all the coding tests, benchmarks. Then you have the math tests, and you have Chinese, of course. So same as English, but in Chinese. And math is very complicated math problems they're presenting to these models. And what you see is that in English, they were all very good on the outside. Claude is like a base model. GPT-4o is a base model. So you see they performed well. In math, they're very bad. In coding, they were so-so. And what you see with the latest OpenAI models is that they made these enormous advancements in math and coding, but also in English, of course. So now what you see, here comes the shocker, is that DeepSeek, this new R1 model, is beating even one of the most advanced models at OpenAI in many of these metrics, to make a long story short, or is on par, right? Why is this a big shock? Because DeepSeek also claims they had trained this model only with 5 million. So the total training and energy and compute cost was 5 million, whereas OpenAI had to spend hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions to train their model. So that is very disturbing to the market, because the story that was sold to the markets and the capitalists was that, well, AI, to develop AI, you need these capital expenditures. And these capital expenditures are being, they're necessary. And I always find this very amusing. It's a very American way of thinking about the world. It's a very simplistic way that is based in our, caveman brains. You think like, well, if you want more, you have to spend more. And the more you spend, the more you get. Like if you want to build a skyscraper with 20 stories, you have to spend 20 times more than on one story to make things simple, right? Because you need more steel, you need more concrete, you need more people, you need more labor. Now, in abstract areas like science, technology, that's not necessarily true. Actually, the opposite is often true. The less you spend, the exponentially more you get. That's why startups keep destroying large companies, right? So if you give someone $1 million to achieve someone, and someone else you give $1 billion, and this thing is software and technology, the people with $1 million are very likely, in most cases, to beat the people with $1 billion, because the people with $1 billion get dragged down by all their capital. Because what you need is, agility, intelligence, and out-of-the-box thinking. And with $1 billion, that's very hard to achieve, because you hire all these MBAs and these managers to manage the people who manage the people, and then you can't innovate, and the people with $1 million are going to completely outperform and destroy you. So in AI, because it's such a big deal, this massive influx of capital is kind of the easy thing to do. The low IQ thing, ironically, to do is to pour hundreds of billions or trillions into AI. But that's not how you win the race. You win the race by being genius. You are not genius with $100 billion, right? So building up compute and chips is one thing, but being smart is another thing. And Elon is one of the very few people, now we get to Tesla, that can actually combine large amounts of capital with keeping people genius in their genius mode. I'm not talking about Elon himself. I'm talking about his ability to keep his own people in genius mode, for example, by forcing very small teams. I don't know if it's true, but someone told me at Tesla, the people who developed the app, the mobile app, there are 2 people who actually are the key coders on the mobile app. At Volkswagen, they probably have 10,000 people working on their stupid app and it doesn't work. So Elon keeps things small. That's also why he fired everyone at X, 80%, and it became way better, way faster. So Elon has the magic touch. Of course, if you have a lot of capital, but you can keep the efficiency, then you totally win. But normally capital destroys your ability to innovate. So DeepSeek has impacted Nvidia a lot. Will it destroy Tesla? And the market, actually, when you look at how the stock behaves today, the market doesn't even think that. The market just drags Tesla down just for fun because it's not thinking too much. So I think the market already understands DeepSeek is not necessarily a problem for Tesla. I would go one step further. I would say DeepSeek is a huge leap in innovation and efficiency. I love that it's kicking the butts of these presumably smart people at OpenAI, but now it's showing, well, maybe you're not that smart, you're just wasting a lot of money. I think it creates competition. I think it's this little mini Sputnik moment, and I think it will spur innovation. Here's why I think that DeepSeek not only not destroys Tesla, not only is not bad for Tesla, but why DeepSeek is just another piece of the puzzle for me to get even more bullish on the future of Tesla. Actually, DeepSeek, in my model of Tesla projections, in that Optimus is a very important, the most important future discounted cash flow in the model, while DeepSeek further reduces my risk. I have risk modeled out quantitatively in my model for the Optimus cash flow stream. DeepSeek further reduces any risk to Optimus being launched in time and being scaled rapidly. Here is why. What Tesla is building are complex value chains and complex value capture systems around AI. When I say complex, I mean it in a good way. Optimus is a platform play how to provide human labor in the form of humanoid robots to all industries and to new application across the world. I believe by 2040, Tesla will have close to 4 billion Optimus robots produced and deployed. I believe they will reach the first million in deployed Optimus robots before 2030. The precondition for me being right is that Optimus solves two major problems and a bunch of more, but two major technological problems. The first one is the hand, which is absolutely trivial to all my engineering friends out there who say it's so difficult. Well, it's difficult for you, but it's not difficult for a bunch of genius Tesla engineers who actually have access to massive amounts of capital. Not to contradict myself, they have massive amounts of capital at their disposal, but they also have the pressure for lean, effective little groups and stay in these groups. But whenever they need something, they will get it. And you see that Tesla has basically an unlimited R&D budget while keeping everyone on track. So that's the first condition, but that's a trivial condition. Yeah, the hand needs to be good because that's the condition to do all these kinds of works. The more important condition is, of course, the core intelligence. It is the core intelligence in the brains of these robots. And here's how it works. If you have a robot ecosystem, the intelligence is just one module you're plugging into this ecosystem. And you can be flexible on that model. And Tesla is not betting on a single model. They have an Optimus brain, but that brain is constantly evolving in all directions and sucking in knowledge and capability and technology from all directions. The Optimus brain equation is that the more artificial intelligence capability exists on Earth, the more will be fed into Optimus's brain. Optimus's brain does not rely on a unique mode in the brain sense because it has all the other modes. It has the mode of massive hardware advantages. It has, much more importantly, the mode of a massive, massive infrastructure of an economic value chain and the App Store and all these things that are coming for Optimus, where all companies in the world can upload their specific IP into their own apps and use and deploy these humanoid Tesla robots in very specific targeted ways that these companies will own, and so on and so forth. I'm going into that in different videos. But Optimus is this giant, giant new economic vertical of humanoid robot labor. And the AI is something that Tesla doesn't need to own. It's not that important as an ownership thing, but it's very important as a capability thing. So the more capability AI develops, the exponentially more value Tesla can capture. And they do not need to own that thing. That is why I think things like DeepSeek that make compute cheaper and therefore increase intelligence per compute capability is incredibly bullish for the deployment and scale of Optimus. The more of these innovations come out, the exponentially more you can bet on Tesla, because Tesla can transform that freely available intelligence into actual economic value of massive proportions. Because only Tesla has the infrastructure, reach, and plan, strategy, and brains to transform this into physical action and physical agents. So that's the bottom line here. I think DeepSeek is incredibly bullish for the Tesla Optimus trajectory, which is the only trajectory that actually matters. And I think the more we see innovations like that, the more the innovation is taken out of the sole hands of some Silicon Valley people, right? And being more distributed with more sources of innovation around the world, the better it is for everyone, but specifically for Tesla. So the key of Tesla is they have built, or they are building, the ultimate trap to capture all economic value that stems from any human labor or any robot labor in the future, with no competition in sight, and everything AI and everything, in mechanical engineering progress will fuel that thing like crazy. So DeepSeek, just another bullish signal for the Optimus timeline, and with that, for Tesla stock. I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you very soon.